Hello, hello. It is I, the game Sickener. I am currently kind of tired and not having a great day, so I don't know how long I'll go for. But I want to do some Opus Magnum. I want to do a little baby throne. Oh, hi, Aylin. Yippee. Uh, I was thinking that since I'm a tired baby, I would maybe do journal puzzles instead of main campaigns, so I can feel less bad if I miss stuff because these puzzles are harder, which is kind of counterintuitive to what you would normally do when you're tired, but I'm kind of into the idea. So I think I'm gonna do some journal puzzles. We'll just do whatever the first one is, I guess. Ben Burlow's wheel. My boo boo. I have to make wheel. Ow. With wheel. That's so cool. Can this be the product? No, okay. Right, so this transforms salt with cool magic. Awesome. Yeah, I can definitely see how this is complicated, but I believe in myself, I can do it. How can I do it? Good question. I want to use a hex arm. My heart says hex arm. Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess I should figure out what I'm solving for first. This actually it seems kind of interesting to do as an area solve, actually, so maybe I'll put away the hex arm idea and look at what I can do in terms of area here to start. I mean, something like this seems like it may just work. Well, I guess it's a bit hard to actually get the thin into the product spot like this, but actually, this has some problems. Yeah, this is not actually a good place for the salt reagent, because the idea is that, like, I'd have salt here and I'd need to baby spin it, and that being there would cause infinite issues. So I can't do that, but I could do something like this, and then, like... Yeah, I guess at this point the question is, how do I actually get the thin into here? And I guess the answer could be with, like, a simple little track and a piston. This is presumably capable of doing the thing I want to do. Maybe. We'll find out. Yeah, I imagine this does something. It certainly looks like it would. Actually, do I even need, like, the second arm here at all, now that I think about it? This stuff is starting to look kind of extraneous. Because, like... Can it work with just this? I mean, I put my silly little soul into here, and it's 5 in there. I can have this start as just like this, so that it works as just soul. And then from there, I just, like, rotate this around and bind all the things to my silly little salt. Slowly rotating it as I go. And then eventually, the last step can just be, like, move the arm here, grab here, pivot over, push in. That seems fine, yeah. I can't imagine a reason that this won't just work. Well, oh, I guess... Oh, the one thing I need to watch out about is accidental bonds that I don't want. Yeah, so maybe opposite order on pivot over and push in. Yeah, this should just work. I don't see a reason that it doesn't. So yeah, I can grab, bam bam boom, and then it's just like there and it's 5 in. And then I guess you can start with going in another salt. Yeah, and then it's gonna be like this little maneuver a bunch of times over. Yeah, spin particles around and slowly binding them for fun. Right. Okay, so is there a specific direction I have to pivot this for it to work? I'm not sure. I think we'll find that out together. Well, actually, I should probably think about that. Okay, so if I pivot it, like if we imagine that I have 2 salt here, we can imagine that's this salt and this salt. So then if I pivot it so that I have like salt salt, then this would be air. Okay, I guess I'll do that. I'm down. And then at this point, the silly wheel can rotate to grant me air when I next require its services. And from here, I mean, it's basically just this over and over again, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if I just copy-paste this a bunch, then I actually get exactly what I want, since the order here is the same as on here. And yeah, so this will be 3, 4, 5, and then 6, I suppose. So then from here, I think instead of this pivot, I just like let go. Well, I guess I don't need to grab. In fact, yeah, I remove all of these steps in order to do like minus, right, grab, push, and then pivot the whole thing right, I think, and that should probably work. I'm gonna try and see what it does. No. Hell yeah. That just works. Yeah, it's swinging through a lot of extra space. I wonder where exactly it's using that space. It should, if I haven't screwed anything up horribly, then it's in the final sequence that that space gets used. Yeah, so that does make sense. Here, when you push it out, it's using a bunch of extra space, and then pivot uses extra space too. Actually, oh wait, I see a way that I could avoid having to pivot. Yeah, okay, hold on. If I just do this, and then instead of a pivot, I do a plus, then that should be significantly better, right? Show me the thing, do it. Aiming. Yeah, this is a lot better, okay. This still isn't like great area, I don't think, but it definitely is like workable at least. So I think I'll submit this and see what the graphs look like. It is satisfying to see the rotations happen in sync. Yeah, the glyph of bonding again in the way of me, like, being fully optimal with the space is very unfortunate and probably something I can do something about, but I don't know what yet. I mean, would it work if I just move the glyph of bonding out of it? I don't think that changes what's fundamentally happening at all. But like, maybe it does something. Oh, that's the lowest brick on area. Interesting. Also, there's probably better you can do within this brick. Like, I'd be surprised if there isn't. True, yeah. The solves, like... Yeah, the solves so often look, like, really cool as you just have something going in sync with something else, and it looks nice. Alright, I think for now I'm gonna leave area there. I'm gonna try and do, like, a cost version of this instead for a moment. So, I guess my first question was cost is, do I need this track at all? Which is a good question. One I am not sure of the answer to, unfortunately. So, yeah, the only step at which I actually use the track is the end here. I use it to do a silly little maneuver with my stuff that might be able to be replaced by a swing, since without the track I can still reach this position. Which makes me think that's like definitely not necessary, right? Since yeah, I grab it by the fire. And then... yeah, okay, I don't think I need the track. I'm pretty confident I don't. So kill track. And rewrite this area. Bam. So yeah, at this point I have the full thing assembled with fire here and me grabbed onto that fire. So I think what I do is pivot that way, swing that way, extend, and that may just work. It actually kind of looks like it just works. Does this work? Is this my cost solve? Ah! There are extra bonds. That makes sense. Atoms may not collide. Okay. I believe you, Atoms. Probably shouldn't do that, yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. In that case, my guess as to what I need to do is probably literally just push out earlier and possibly more. I might do, like... yeah, I think to be safe I'm gonna do push out twice, then retract back here. Well, no, I don't know that I need to do that. I'll test it like this and see if I need to do that. Ah, let me reset. Give it back. Thank you. Do it. I believe in you. Do the thing. Be good. Nope, that works. Awesome. It wastes tons of area. But, oh well. Get him. Do it. Do the thing. I guess I'll dink my oiter while it does the thing. Yeah, so I guess I could look at if it's ever potentially possible to do this with just a non-piston arm and 2 to 3 tracks, since that would be cheaper. I mean, I'm making a whole lot of use of the extend feature of my little piston arm, but also like a track that goes like here could do the same thing. The question is if that's true for the final parts, which like, I guess it would be, yeah. Actually, yeah, I can... I was thinking this was going to be a difficult question of if I could do track instead here, but it's actually like a very simple question, I think. So yeah, the idea, well, oh no, right. For some reason I was thinking something silly. Maybe I can't. For some reason, I was trying to keep in my head the possibility of a 1-length arm and a 2-length arm at the same time. I ended up getting them confused and just imagine basically a piston arm. Yeah, the fact that I have to commit to 1 or 2 length does make this a bit more complicated, actually. I mean, I think inherently, well, I was thinking it might have to be 2 lengths, but I'm not certain that's true, actually. So, like, I guess what 1 length would look like is this. Does this work? So I'm saying that I grab my silly baby soul, I bring it over, I put it in the thingy thing. Actually, I guess this position doesn't necessarily work for silly baby soul, but something like this would. So yeah, grab my silly baby soul, put it in the thing, and then from here, well, maybe like this actually, because then, yeah, this might work, because now from this position, well, maybe I need to do like this. Yeah, this looks like it would work, because now from this position I can access all of this salt and the thingy things that I need to use. Well, but will it work? Because the thing is that, I guess I should explain what I'm concerned about. Because at some point this wheel is going to have all but one of the reagents attack. Which means that it's going to have a little hole where the last reagent has to go, and it's going to be filling up all the space next to that. And I need to figure out how I'm going to both get it into that orientation in the first place, and how, when I get there, I'm going to fill the hole. So this lets me fill the hole, but doesn't let me get into that orientation in the first place, since this spot is going to be blocked, and I won't be able to rotate it into a position where it's going to get me like that. But, well, wait, hold on. What I could do is, like, grab it from here, swing it over to here, and then... Well, no, that still doesn't work, yeah. Okay, so I think that what it was telling me is that it was fundamentally impossible at 1 length. I think I need to go to 2 lengths. which means rethinking everything pretty much. And yeah, so this is going to be a bit more involved than what I first bargained for, but I believe in myself, I can handle it. Yeah, so this can reach, like, every important place like this. This seems like it'd work. I don't see a reason it wouldn't. Yeah, okay. This isn't actually that bad now that I look at it. I will just have to, like, completely restart on the program pretty much. Yeah, so I think I'll just get rid of this arm, replace it with a new baby, and go from there. So yeah, this part stays the same. Mostly. And then from here, it's just gonna be like, do that. Yeah, I'll do the plus in. Then I have to swing around this way to prevent a silly baby collision. I think it's, yeah, 4 swings. And then that just attaches it. So then I get to let go, do minus, grab again, and pivot. I need to make sure I pivot the right way, I think. Or do I? I don't think it actually matters that much. I think before... I think it's this pivot that I want. That's probably true. Okay, and then I think it's, again, just like, do this thingy over and over. I'm gonna get rid of these so that they don't get in my way. Vanish. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is actually, like, not that fundamentally different from what I was doing before. So yeah, that's 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means on this one, we change it, where I guess it's basically just gonna be this. That's the change. Awesome. And then, yeah, from here we can go to this point and look at what orientation we get. So, that way, that orientation. Okay. I think it was this. Am I right? Let's find out. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So now we just do this. Cool. Small arm forced to large. True. Tragedy. The area is really funny here. The arm is having a good time. It's swinging its heart out over there. That's awesome. I love this guy. Yeah, from there I guess the question is if there's some way to do this without even 2-track, but that sounds really hard and kind of not worth it. Yeah, it could be interesting to optimize this for cycles, I suppose. You saw the arm grow and you were like, oh, sadness. True. Wabu. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try a cycle solve here, too. One last solve for the silly wheel. Yeah, so I'm only allowed to have 1 wheel. That's good to know. I'm allowed to use calcification if it somehow is useful. Kind of doubt that will be. Is multi-bonding useful? I kind of don't think so. So yeah, I can... well, yeah, a place I can start is I can have like this arm that grabs the core salt, pushes it out, and then like starts doing the thing from there. Just like constantly rotating it as it needs, and then eventually, I guess it won't quite be close enough to deposit, but we'll work that part out. Actually, yeah, I do want a clean deposit, that does matter, so I might need a separate deposit arm. But this arm can then put the, since they're just raw salt, into here on its own, which is cool. Good job, arm. I approve. Then will this work? Just like having this arm attach the other stuff that isn't salt? Actually, ooh, can I use a hex arm there? It would... maybe. Honestly, yeah, maybe. A hex arm is not a ridiculous idea for this purpose. So I think this is going to be the biggest holdup, so yeah, I probably want to if I can. I guess what that would look like is like... rotate this like that. Right, I guess I do this, maybe. And then like this is my hex arm spot, and you die forever. Is this going to cause problems? I don't think so. It looks pretty sensible to me, actually. Yeah, I don't think the hex arm runs into problems with grabbing anything it's not supposed to. I think it's just gonna be a good hex arm. I think it's hexing and arming, and that's cool. That's my understanding of the situation. Okay, so now I need to figure out how the salts fit in. So my thought is that like we can start with air, and like do that thing, and that'll be cool. Yeah, so I'll start programming actually, since I'm pretty sure this is gonna be my setup for now. If I do that, that's the salt in position. And then 4 can just like grab and spin, and that'll cause my first bond with the air. Then I need to figure out like exactly what's going to happen with this 3 arm. I think the answer is that goes like now, basically. A cursed arm of hexes bend the game to Thickener's will. True. This cursed object is my slave. Anyway. Yeah, so I think that what happens is that like you do this thingy and it's cool. And I think about rotations. Because rotations are like that. So okay, this is a helpful way to visualize it. So I'm gonna have salt air, which means I need to rotate this way in order to accommodate another salt. Which means that Van Berlo's rotates twice like this to access fire again at the right time. That sounds right. And then, well, from here... yeah, this is basically just the thing I'm doing. So, yeah, this is just gonna do this over and over again. I guess 4 times, specifically. Yeah, this is gonna do something similar. I think it'll be like that, that. Something like that sounds right to me. And yeah, this is just gonna pivot every time there's a new addition. Yeah, okay, this looks good. And then I guess I just need to think about exactly when the second salt gets added. I mean, is it here? Does that work? It feels like it might. And then, oh right, I think they want to have a deposit arm, since the deposit is currently looking a little bit clunky. Yeah, so I could use a piston, or I could just use like a basic baby on some track. And yeah, that baby is just going to... I guess there doesn't need to be a last pivot here, so... Yeah, you'll let go after this pivot. Yeah, since 5 pivots should be the right number, and then you grab the fin at that time. And yeah, I guess you're... Well, you need 4 to let go. But at that point, you're good to just like minus drop, and that should be my thing done. Like, yeah, I think this set of instructions is just like the thing. I guess you need to reset, but yeah. This looks correct to me. Oh. Right, I guess I need to think about orientation, but it should be that, and it just works. Yes, this is a functional solution. I have done it. The deposit feels slow to me, but it's not like that bad. Oh, huh. This is apparently not that great. Interesting. You boinked your last boink. Prepare to rotate correctly. True. Okay, how do I make this better then? Well, hold on. Let me make sure that this isn't allowed. If it is allowed, that saves like a good bit just immediately. Oh, it's allowed. Okay, that helps. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Can I make it even better than that? Oh yeah, that saves exactly 1 cycle. Wowie. Yeah, I mean, like, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it feels like the earth attraction is where it's really slow. Every other part looks pretty smooth, but the earth attraction feels bad. I guess another arm could solve that problem, actually. Yeah, if I just have something else to sub in for the hex arm on specifically the step of attaching earth, then that could help. So, well, let me check exactly when that is. So, yeah, this is the start of attaching earth. So, I guess my new arm would be allowed to grab here. And then yeah, push and okay, yeah, this is pretty simple. So I just like grab my thinny thin there. I extend a little baby track where it goes minus. And that's what you do, and I guess you skip this part and can maybe make this faster in exchange. I'm gonna try making it 1 faster and see what that does. Let's see if this still works. Actually, oh wait, you think this pivot needs to be earlier than? I'm not sure. No, this pivot is for that. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, moving that earlier does not work. Good to know. But the rest might. Okay. New things are breaking, apparently. Actually, wait, I guess I'm not speeding this up, so then that doesn't help at all, huh? Is 5 just grabbing silly and early? Did I make this slower on accident? I might have made it slower on accident. Yeah, 5 is early, okay. Yes, I am attempting to Van Berlo the wheel. We'll see if I succeed. This might be slower than what I had before. I already have like pretty good cost and area solves. I don't know if they're perfectly optimal, but they feel strong, like very solid to me. But my cycle solve is not quite doing the thing yet, so I'm attempting to make it do the thing. That is exactly the same as what I had before, which I guess does make sense. So a way I can make this faster. Because like 5 being early was the problem before. Do things get better if I do this? No. Yeah, so like, this extra armament isn't doing anything. I think green is still slow in this environment. Actually, oh, it might just be because I'm mistiming a pivot really dumbly. Do things change if I do this? Actually, oh right, and I can do this earlier probably if I'm doing this faster. Like, yeah, there's no reason I can't do this now. Okay, yeah, I think I just wasn't taking this to its logical conclusion. And just being very silly in that way. Yeah, and then can this go earlier at that point? I feel like it should be able to. I don't know, I'm gonna try this and see what it does. And where it breaks. Oh, huh. Apparently that can happen. Good to know. I mean, technically there's no reason that you can't just delay that, so I guess you will. Does this work now? Well, it makes the wrong product, so that isn't good. Let me look at more detail of what happened there. Oh yeah, I guess this is just spinning too slowly now, so can't do this. This might work. The Cascade of Doom through. Oh, but this works now. Happy game. Nice, 91. That is significantly better. Okay. Yeah, apparently you can get like super tiny if you're really good. I guess that'd be 50 or less, or maybe less than 50. One of those two. But this is like at least sensible. It isn't a complete failure to do a good cycles then. This is actually like decent. Yeah, I need to get better at like diagnosing the issue when my machine breaks. Like, when I have a lot of arms like this, it's hard to immediately see and look and be like, oh, this is the thing that's holding on when it shouldn't be. Yeah, there's still something I'm pretty happy with. I think it makes sense what I'm doing here. Yeah, you can see that they're getting at a pretty constant rate here. In fact, yeah, the rate of the pivots never changes. So, like, this is a pretty strong idea. There might be some way to make it like loop better. Yeah, it feels a bit slow on the loop. But yeah, this is otherwise like sensible. I doubt I can make it any faster than this. I don't think I can. Like with this setup, or I guess what specific to me is 4. I don't think I can make 4 any faster than this. Yeah, like there might be something to help me switch the loop, but I think I won't worry about it for now. I'll go to a different puzzle. Like, Emberlo's chain. This doesn't seem that complicated. Yes, I can start with my specialty of area. Yeah, I guess the complicated thing is that you need binds in like a few different directions. Yeah, I imagine what you're probably supposed to do. My immediate guess is that you're supposed to bind to salt like this, and then from there bind, like rotate that salt, binds the other things to it. Until you end up with this thingy. Oh, but... Well, oh no, maybe you need to do it like this, actually, and do it the other way around, because you need to eventually make this bond between, like, the middle. Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense. Okay, so this is probably where the glyph goes. Like any way he feels. Silly reference, baby. Why that? It's been gotten. Anyway, yes, so that's definitely not where the glyph is going to go, but I guess it can be there for now. We can vibe there. So yeah, I guess there's a question of if the glyph of bondage should go here. I mean, it feels like a pretty sensible place for it, since I can just like do this, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, so what I need to do is like yeah, okay, I'm getting a sense for what this entails. Since basically I need to have like salt, salt, fire, and salt, salt, water at different times, and then eventually end with the salts vibing in the middle, able to become part of the chain. I imagine that I'm going to like grab this. Well, I might want to track here. I imagine that like at some point the way that this like the way that each instance here ends is that I pull my little 2 salt thing back, I grab this cell somehow, and I pull that in. Which might mean that this arm is supposed to be in a different place, actually. Like, with 3 track, I can put it here. And it can probably do things pretty well. I wonder if it is allowed to be here. Maybe. Well, no, not really. It's not allowed to be there. It might be allowed to be there, though. That could be cool. And then, I suppose, the Wheel of Burlow must go somewhere as well. Where exactly is a good question. I mean, like... My intuition is, like, here. This feels like the spot. I could solve it with the piston there and no track. Let me think about that.
I guess maybe, yeah. It'd definitely be bad for area, though. Oh, there's some left of the water, okay. Would that work? Well, I guess it's possible if you're, like, attaching things to this chain as a single salt. I don't know, I think I'm gonna go with this solution first. Like, it's possible there's some other idea without tracks that's, like, better for cost, but this is supposed to be an area solve first, so I'm gonna start with that. So yeah, I think that this little setup here should work. It may not be great, but it should at least work. So I guess I can start, you know, doing the thing where I try and make the solution do a thing. So yeah, I guess that actually I might. I'm gonna try this to start, so that I have a salt here, and I think I'll add the water and, like, go from there, I guess. Sure. So that's 3 pluses. Bam bam, that gives me the water. And then I guess I can just extend it into place. And then, yeah, I suppose at that point I let go, and I start working to rotate this so that I can take the second salt. Actually, oh wait, hold on, oh yeah, hold on, I'm already doing this in a way that I don't like. Yeah, I think I should be doing the opposite of this, where I do fire first. So... Also, I do know that order is important. Yes. So anyway, so yeah, the idea here is that, like, if I do fire first, then I can take up this space with the fire and still have space to maneuver my water, rather than this space down here with the water and, like, being sad that way. It might, I don't think it'll be a huge optimization, but it might help a bit. So yeah, I guess that this part happens differently. I'll get my fire, and then... Right, I won't have this plus here. Instead, once I get my fire, I will... I guess instead of this win, it would... You know, instead of this win, it'd be a minus input, and then this would get me the fire in the right place. And then from here... Oh well, I guess I may be being a little bit silly. This might not do a thing, actually. Or no, this... There is a silly way that I can get what I want out of this, I suppose. Yeah, okay. I'll do the silly thing. So yeah, from here I do minus, grab, pivot this way, reset, then I can grab a new salt. Oh, that's why I have salt fire. So in order to maneuver the salt properly, I have to do, like, rotate it like that, and then, oh yeah, the wheel will have to turn to assist my silliness. We'll sink it there because it's fun. And so yeah, then from here I do plus plus, turn it that way, extend, minus, and this will get into the right spot, going around the fire. This is gonna look really silly. I feel like I have to demonstrate it to just show how silly it is. Bam! If my arm just extended over the fire, very sillily. But then this allows me to pivot there and be happy. And then I can reset and start working on my water. And this can do 2 more little rotations there. And the water is going to be pretty similar, but less annoying, I think. These I just do that. I coast over to the water thingy. I coast away from it. And that's just this. And then this should give me an instance of the product. At this point, all I need to do, I think, is let go. Well, kind of instance of the product. Instance of half the product, and then this is like the air earth version that's just like the same thing, but with the wheel rotating slightly differently. So yeah, then, right, I'm doing, wait, that's not nice, that's plus. I do plus, I grab the thingy thing, I pivot it like this, and now I have my first thingy. Where I guess I can do plus again. But I suppose if I want to store it like here, then I need to do... Actually, oh wait, oh, this isn't going to work quite as I want it to, is it? Yeah, maneuver around the fire isn't going to be sustainable, I don't think. That's unfortunate, okay. Because eventually this cell is going to be occupied and I can't really clear that space at all. And then at that point, my silly maneuver will not function anymore. Well, that's unpleasant. I mean, if I do water first, does it work better? I can't see a way of doing it that doesn't use this space. I mean, like, if I'm doing area solves, ideally I don't use that. By the way, I might eventually be able to move this reagent here, but for now I'm gonna try and work with it like this. Okay, so other ways of getting around the fire. I mean, if I'm willing to use a bit more space, then I can do this, and that works. But... like, that's using more space to avoid using more space. Actually, would that even work? I guess it wouldn't, unless it connects up with this part, which I can't make happen. So yeah, I guess that isn't even quite a solution. Yeah, it's easy to do like the mirror image of what I want, but that's the mirror image of what I want and not what I want. I'm pretty sure that a mirrored version of this won't work at all. So I might just have to do water first instead. which is really sad, but I guess that's where we're at. So yeah, in that case, it'd have to be this. This rotates like that. And then a bunch of this stuff is gonna have to change. Yeah, so this, I guess, another minus gets injected here. And this gives me my water. This becomes a plus instead, and is that pivot direction still correct? Yes, actually, okay. True, sad arm, baby way. So yeah, that happens, this is all stuff to maneuver around the thinny thing that no longer exists. Yeah, I think that I'm going to delete this part and start from scratch here. Because what I'm doing fundamentally isn't that complicated anymore, actually. It's just gonna be like that to add another salt. Then I can let go, plus grab, and rotate this the appropriate way. Actually, wait, should I let go? I don't need to let go. I'm being silly. Yeah, I rotate it like this, and I can append the fire. Or well, actually, I guess technically, there is another way to append the fire. Oh, but it's going to use this space again, which is a problem, yeah. I established that that's not space I'm allowed to use with the way I'm currently doing this. So yeah, it's going to be this. Well, let me make sure I have it correct. Because it's... and then, yeah, rotate like that. Then I'm able to add the fire. Let's go in plus plus plus. Then swing. Swing minus. Right, I pressed the minus key on my keyboard, oops. Extend. And then I have the thinny. I can let go. Go back. Grab. Pivot. This might use extra space on the pivots. But it's going to be like something at least. Yeah, if I plus plus there, then I will have the first product, essentially. I suppose I can show it. Bam. It's the thinny. Then for future products, what I'm saying is that they get pulled back here, and then I add the thingy to them. Just takes the whole polymer, move it back a step, and then push the thing out again. That should work, yeah. I suppose I should add the instructions in here for it to do that. Yeah, so there's wood plus plus. What I guess it actually has to do is, well, it does plus plus, but first it lets go, and then swings. It's gonna be this way. Actually, oh wait, this is silly what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of silly extra steps. Yeah, all I do is instead of this minus, I do a plus and the swing. And then I have what I want. Where I'm now from here, taking the thing. And then here I just minus, and that gets it into position. Then I can swing back left. I can plus again. I can grab the thingy. I can minus, and this should create the bonds that I want here. At which point I think it's just plus, let go, minus minus, grab, plus plus. And I should have it in the correct position now. At which point I can reset, and then I'll basically just be copying all these instructions to do the same thing again, but with Burlow's wheel properly adjusted. Yeah, so I can have Burlow's wheel do that at whatever time. That should be a fine one. And then that will put it on Earth, where I can just repeat this entire process. Actually, I wonder if this just works, actually. Do I need to adjust Burlow's wheel more than this? Maybe I don't. Let's get to try this and see what it does. Burlow's wheel isn't quite as satisfying when it has to spin so much. Oh yeah, that didn't get pulled out as much as it should have. Okay. That does make sense. Yeah, I think this plus... Yeah, basically I need to, instead of that plus, just do like another rep of this. Yeah, I do that. Or, yeah, I guess it's like this, I think. Something like that? Let's see if this works. Burlow's dissatisfaction, true. Yes, okay, that works now. And this shouldn't cause any clashes. Actually, I'm doing this in the wrong order. Or, no, I guess not technically. Yeah, eventually it'll be right. It is technically wrong though, this is taking more time than it should. Also, apparently the Burlow's wheel eventually breaks, that does make sense. Then Burlow's mistake, true. Yeah, I guess the way to not do it in the wrong order is just to start it here. But then, I do need to eventually figure out this not breaking. So I guess I can have repeat here. And then, yeah, I mean, those gonna be doing the same things at the same times, basically. I guess I need to know exactly where in the process to rotate. Is it just any time after this grab, which is like... Yeah, it's probably like... Here is probably fine for those rotations. And then yeah, this one happens near the end somewhere. I think it's fine if it's like exactly at the end, in fact. Bam. Then it's the cycle after that that causes problems. So, one more thingy thing. Actually, oh, the problems that causes are very simple, I just realized. Yeah. All that's happening is that, sure, here probably. Here, I think I just need to do this. And then I think it works. Does this work? Let's find out. I'm pretty sure I just need to rotate the opposite way to get back to the right thing. Also, I guess, is this going to work? Actually, oh yeah, hold on. I think my rotations are backwards, actually. Yeah, I think this should be that. This should be that, and this should be that, probably? Let's find out if that's true. Karis Van Berlo is his full name. Interesting. We have a lore expert here to assist. Alright, does it break now? It does. Huh, it was working for a bit, and it just like didn't. They forget a 3 thingy?
Oh, that's weird. Actually, oh, I guess this 3 thingy... I'm not sure exactly what happened, actually. Well, let me go here and see exactly what the situation was. Need to repeat twice, not thrice. On this bottom thing? Or actually... Oh wait, yeah, I get what you mean. I'm being silly. Okay. Yeah, on both things. That makes sense. So yeah, I guess do this, and then I guess this is just that? Does this make sense? We'll see if it does. Honestly, the extra step of, like, having to make it different elements both times kind of does feel just, like, arbitrary and not very fun or interesting here. Yes, okay, here we go, now it works. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that part of this puzzle's design. I feel like this would be a cleaner, more fun puzzle if it was just the same elements every time. They could make it a bit more boring, I guess, but this part of the puzzle was not fun. In theory, this is a game design commentary channel. I guess that's my game design commentary for the day for you. Enjoy. Yeah, this does kind of take forever, doesn't it? But it's, like, vaguely sensible in area. Definitely not amazing, but sensible. Yeah, not, like, randomly wasting out anything that I totally don't need to be wasting. At the very least. Yeah, I guess since I'm thinking of, like, one half of this as one product, but technically both halves are a single product, so that makes it, like, stupidly long. But that is at least the best block on area, although that kind of makes sense considering I think this block would be, like, 50 to 100, and that's a pretty big range. Yeah, the area histogram here is very silly. That's what these are called, right? Histograms? Something like that? Histograms? Something like that. Along those lines. I think I'm not going to yeah, the mode, as in, like, the basic idea of how to do area. Histogram, okay, I did get it right, I think. Yeah, I mean, like, I have to imagine that there are, like, little saves you can do here. Like, it feels silly having the whole thing take up, like, all of this area just to, like, combine properly. But maybe it's necessary, I don't know. Like, I mean, how else are we gonna get it to combine accurately? I mean, yeah, like, that basic idea of how you attach the polymers, like, there isn't actually a way to save on that. Yeah, I think for now I'll say this is good enough. I don't think I particularly love this puzzle, so I might go back to actual campaign puzzles at this point. Or I could look for, like, a more interesting journal puzzle. I guess both are options. Reactive Cinnabar looks kind of interesting. Silver Caustic looks maybe interesting? I'm gonna try Reactive Cinnabar. Yeah, so these atoms, they have special properties, but not ones that matter in this puzzle. They're basically just atoms. And I just gotta combine them. how hard could it be? Probably decently hard. This is a pretty weird shape. A cost solve would probably be relatively easy here. Like, I imagine I can just do something like this. And, like, probably maybe get a solution together? I don't know. I'm not certain that that's true, but there's a chance. Yeah, I might start by thinking about this, because this is probably a good way to get to grips with the puzzle, and it might just work. Yeah, since I am able to maneuver both of these reagents to both sides of the Glyph of Bond in here. So that's good. This puzzle will need a 2-length thingy thin, but I'm not certain yet. So for now, I think I'm gonna try with this 1-length baby. So yeah, well, the third's just merge into salt. That part's pretty simple. Then yeah, okay. I'm starting to think I need 2 lengths because, well, maybe not. Actually, no, this could just work. Yeah, because basically, I think all I need to do is just, like, so I have the 2 salt, I pivot one out, so that's, like, there, and then I add a quicksilver here, and then, like, move this over, pivot it over like that, and I just attach a salt, and I think I just keep doing that and I win. It actually seems pretty straightforward now that I look at it. So yeah, I do that, I reset, I grab the thingy again, and I do with that. And then actually I might reverse the order of these, because it's easier to, I don't think it matters, but it's easier for my brain to handle this way. So yeah, because then here, I do the pivot like that. And now, it's like, probably not that bad. Because I just do this, and bam, that's the quicksilver in there. And then I just, like, do this, I think. And I can add another salt. I'm pretty sure I still have space to maneuver it. And I just, like, keep on doing the same thing again, I think. Like, actually, yeah, I think that what this is, like, quite simple, really. I think I just alternate between these 2 instructions here. Oh, I forgot to reset. Yeah, add the reset there. Then I do this. And then this, and now I should have the product, and then, well, oh, I don't quite have the product, since there's one last bond I need to do. No, does this give me the product? Let me check. Let me see where we're at. Ah! Okay, apparently I'm doing some, oh no, that is, yeah, that's the right shape. Okay, I just need to do pivots, like, intermixed instead of all at the end, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the issue there. I might even be able to do just, like, both pivots up front, actually. Yeah, we can see if I end up with more little pivot issues like that. Ah, okay, yeah. I think it's just, like, I guess I just do, like, both pivots up front and it, like, works, I'm pretty sure. Unless, will that pivot, is it, like, into me?
No, it won't, yeah. It's both pivots up front. Okay. I think I started by doing the pivots last arbitrarily, and they have been punished for being arbitrary and not thinking. Oh, oops. On one of those, I did the pivots at completely the wrong time. Actually, oh yeah, I'm just being really silly about it. Okay, so it's just like that. Actually, oh wait, this is just one too many rotates, isn't it? Yeah, why is it rotating twice? Okay, I'm being very silly. My apologies. I said I was sleepy, okay? This should actually work now. Yes, I have the product now. Awesome. So now I just need to get this to the place without accidentally combining it more. Which, like, I mean, that shouldn't be that hard, really. Since, like, I think if I literally just do this, then I can just, like, release, turn right, grab, turn right more, pivot, I think it's once, and this just, like, works, probably. Let's find out. That the shape, like, at the stage looks so weird, and then it comes into something actually coherent here. Oh, I forgot pivot. Now it should work. Yeah, like, the final shape looks so natural, and then every step before that looks so strange and unnatural. I like it. There we go. 40G. And probably not great area. That's, yeah, that isn't the cleanest area. Yeah, I guess this would actually be, like, pretty simple to convert into an area solve. Because I think that all you need to do is just, like, add a track here, and then put the product up above. And then that's, like, probably pretty good area. Oh, there's apparently some tiny blip here of, like, 5 to 10 area, huh? Yeah, this is the best block on cost. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is make a copy of this and try an area thing, since it shouldn't be that involved. Like, right, yeah, just do this into this. And then, rather than doing, like, all the nonsense I have been doing, I just do different nonsense. Yeah. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is that, for all of these, one of these pivots and the swing just gets replaced with a little plus. Yeah, I guess I can just copy this. Well, can I? I don't know. I'll use hotkeys, that's probably the quickest way. Yeah, and then the way it gets deposited changes a bit too. Oh right, I forgot to have the plus. I was like, why is that smaller? It shouldn't be smaller. Yeah, alright, and then this last one, Actually, oh, and doing plus before the pivot might be better. That feels true to me. I'm going to assume it's true. There we go. Okay, so then I just need to think about depositing it differently, which means, yeah, this gets replaced by plus, and then, yeah, from here I have the thin grabbed, and I'm like here. So I mean, yeah, I suppose if I just do like, would it be this? And then just push, then that might just work. Let's see if this is the thing. Yep, sure is. Cool. Actually, I guess I probably could have just press the play button and have that work. Oops. Oh well. We can vibe here for a bit. How is it going, chat? Yeah, pretzel a couple days ago. Like, big soft pretzel. It was really yummy. Thumb up. I approve. Yeah, this area is pretty good. It's 22. Actually, oh, I wonder if I need to waste that space. I probably don't. Oh yeah, that's being wasted on reset, I think. Oh yeah, there's also, I definitely don't need to swim through these. So yeah, there are optimizations to be made on area here. Yeah, that's pretty clean overall. Is this being spun through during pivots? I think so. I don't think there's anything I can do about that space up there, yeah. I think my optimizations could get me to this little brick. Anti-Ans, I think there are locations of Anti-Ans open in Canada, but in this case it's from Mr. Pretzels, which is the existing Canadian equivalent. The cinnamon pretzels aren't as good, the salted ones are still really good. They have like yummy cheese sticks. I forget if Anti-Ans has those. It's good, I approve. Alright, time to change these instructions to be slightly more annoying in favor of not wasting random space. So, well yeah, every reset is gonna have to be manual now, which is annoying. Well, actually no, not necessarily. There's some sort of instruction I'll be able to add to make it fine. I think I need to see exactly what's going on first. So yeah, that doesn't cause problems. Then yeah, when I go there, that caused problems. So I think what that means is just that here I need to make another movement in the plus direction. Wait, that doesn't work. Make a movement in the minus direction? That works, okay. And I think that's fine at that point, yeah. Actually, wait, this one doesn't matter. I'm being silly. I was thinking over here. Here is where I drop, make another movement in the plus direction. And that should work, yeah. Yeah, that seems like it's fine. So I just add that to all of these spots. Drop plus. Drop plus. Hopefully there's not something missing where this is actually not as glorious as I hope it is. Yeah, we'll do this and then we'll figure out the Quicksilver movements from there, since that's the other part that's lacking here. Yeah, I guess I might only be able to save one space on, or no. I'm not exactly sure how the Quicksilver is gonna go. It's gonna be the more complicated part. True, bread is good for tummy. Tummy likes bread. So yeah, let's saved one area here, and then this is still getting used by this. But one area is one area, so that's cool. So So yeah, then the Quicksilver... I mean, actually, hold on. I mean, looking at this, I don't think there's any reason that the Quicksilver can't simply be here. I don't seem to use that for anything else but transporting Quicksilver. See, I think that's that's the simple way to handle the Quicksilver thing. Also, my OBS looked weird for a second, but it seems to have been fine. Alright, so now it's just that every time I reach for Quicksilver, I have to reach to a different spot. But from the moment that I grab, it's fine. Yeah, so I guess I can... Yeah, I'll just get rid of these first instructions and figure it out. I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying is that I can move in the plus direction, I can swing 3 times, I can grab, I can swing that way, and this should be correct. So now I guess I just delete all of my Quicksilver movements, which is this, and then the last one, which I guess will be more complicated. But yeah, I delete that, I put this in its place, and then, yeah, I guess I can take the start to just grab the Quicksilver. So yeah, like, this is the part that I'm actually interested in. It's replacing this part, I believe. So I get rid of that. I add this, and this should work, hopefully. It's funny seeing the reset as it just like drips out really tiny. Just like, wait, where am I supposed to go? I don't know. Yeah, that's down to 19 area. Awesome. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of optimization here to be done on secondary metrics, like cycles. But, well, specifically cycles. It's been a bit silly with the resets. Yeah, I think that I don't need these resets at all, in fact, but they're simpler. They make it easier for me to think, so for now I think I'm just gonna keep this probably. And I might do like one more level for the night. Maybe an actual campaign level? Yeah, 19 area, awesome. You can clearly do much better, but it probably requires something very, very different from what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. A silly little machine with its one silly baby arm doing its thing. And it's not like that expensive either, so that's fun. Actually, ooh, I didn't notice this puzzle before. Lambent 2/9, I guess. That does look kind of fun, but also really complicated. I think I'll do a campaign level. Lithard separation. Okay. Oh. This is not horribly dissimilar from what I just did, actually. Huh. Yeah, it's decently similar. In fact, I just have 2 extra bonds in the middle to make. Actually, oh no, never mind. I'm being silly. This is not the reagent. This is the product, or not the product, this is the reagent. I got backwards. I'm being very silly. Yes, this is a much different level. I take it back. A very interesting level. Yes, I am compelled. This looks like it'd be fun to do cycles for, but I'm kind of tired, so maybe later. I mean, areas for this seems relatively straightforward. The idea of doing area here seems like it would just be, like, avoid swinging this massive thing around more than you need to. maybe it's not that straightforward, since like the immediate thing I started thinking of is doing something like this. Where like, yeah, what you do is grab, go down, then you could like push it out, pivot this way. And I think if you push again, then you just like have a product. Wow, that's awesome. And then you have to figure out something to do from here. And this seems like a start, yeah. Yeah, so obviously reset doesn't work there, but if I do like this, retract, then like, well actually, I guess I should think about exactly how I want to do this, since this lead is in a pretty awkward place. Mildly inconvenient. Well, but I guess I don't need to prioritize lead just yet, since yeah, all of the lead is going to this middle lead, which actually influences things. So yeah, I could just... Right, I definitely need to go back again. And then I could just like do this thing again. And then like, I guess push it out one more. Let go, retract, grab, pivot again, and now I would have another thing that I can just drop off, I think. When I swallow lead, this lead is in a bad place, very inconvenient. Also, I seem to be missing. Oops. Yeah, what's this doing here? Oh, I think I forgot to grab. Grabbing is important. Pro tip. I recommend it. Yeah, that works. And that does silly things. And it actually does get the last one in. Good job. So yeah, at that point what I have is, like, lead, I think. Let me see that again. Yeah, and then I just, like, do the same thing again. And then, yeah, I'm left with that pattern of leads. Okay. Well, that's actually very manageable then, right? Or, oh. It might be complicated. Okay. Yeah, that was a very good area so far, but I might lose some in the process of doing the remaining stuff there is to do with this lead. Well, it might not be that much though, actually. Yeah, this remaining lead isn't actually that bad now that I look at it. Oh yeah, I think I can do this. Okay, so some amount of this needs to get copied. I guess this is this the first drop-off? No, that's the first drop-off, so I guess that means that this entire part gets copied. Bam. Does this work now? Yep, awesome. So then from here, yeah, from here I guess I can yeah, okay, this makes sense to me. I see a way to do this. So I'll start with a reset here. Then I grab the thingy, I go down, this will waste an area here, but that's a future me problem, because it will make a separate lead here. at which point I can go back up, let go for a moment, go down again, extend, grab, go up again, extend more, release, in the form of a reset because I'm fancy, and then that will have a lead here. Then from there, I think all I need to really do is just like try and make the same thing happen a few more times without allowing this center shape to respawn at any point. Well, until the last one. At that point, it's fine. So yeah, at this point I'm grabbing the thing again. I guess I like push it out, pivot it like this, go down. That gets me a separate let here, so I can go back up, let it go down, pull in, grab, push twice, go up. That should be another one delivered. I let go. Right, I just grabbed all those in. And then I suppose I can just pivot it like this. Go down. This should be when the reagent respawns finally. And also when I get two separate LEDs here, at which point I can just push up and let go. Actually, I guess this can just be a reset actually. So yeah, then here I reset, I go down, I grab, I extend twice, I go up, and I win. And this should just work. With only like, wasting this track and then eventually this cell will be used. Oh no, that respawns there. That's really bad. Okay. Well, that breaks everything. There isn't actually much of a way around that, is there? Yeah, there isn't really a way to keep a piece sticking out there. Not without very fundamentally changing what I'm doing and probably wasting a bunch more area. Huh, okay. Well, so then the question is there a way to do this with that in the way? Because like, I have this lead, there's that. If I add track back here, does it help anything? Maybe? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna be using like 2 extra area to solve this problem, but I can solve it if I use 2 extra area. I think I'm going to do that for now, in lieu of knowing what else to do. So yeah, yeah, this is the part where I start dealing with lead. And it works for a while. I just need to get rid of this plus. And then that -2. Extend, grab, extend again, plus, drop off. So that's the first lead handled. Then, I need to start this with -, and then, oh yeah, and then extend. And then what I'm going to do is rotate this way twice so that my little thingy thing of lead will be rotated into lead, which will have this one broken off and able to be deposited at that point. Which I guess I'll just do before anything else. I guess I can get rid of this entire part. Goodbye. This will make things easier, probably. Yeah, so I let go, I do that, I grab, I extend, I go up. And that lets me drop off that lead. And then, well yeah, at that point I just have one left. Where all I need to do really is like, well I have a pair left I guess. Yeah, I guess the minus, grab, rotate, rotate, release, extend, grab. Yeah, at this point it's basically just like simple cleanup. Yeah, reset, minus, grab, extend, extend, plus release. Okay. So yeah, this is definitely not as perfect as it first looked like it was going to be, but it's decent. Yeah, so I waste... Or, oh, that clash happens. That sucks. Huh. Yeah, I do actually have the means to get that out of the way in time, though. It'll be a bit weird, but yeah. Actually, let me check where exactly that clash happened again. Just so I know where to start looking. So yes, it's here. So yes, here I don't do a plus. What I instead do is release for now. Yeah, then I retreat, retract, and yeah, from there I just do this part again for a little bit, but then instead of then grabbing the sin and delivering it, I first grab the other sin and deliver that. And then once I've done that, I just go back for the other one. Okay, that isn't too horrible. Yeah, and then from there, the rest of it should be the same. Okay, I think this works now. Grabs you? I've been grabbed. Yay. You love it here. Happy. Lovely. This does in fact work. You can do all of the 36 products. It's really funny to see in products 36 here. Yeah, I'd love to save like a couple more area here. I notice it's at 16, which I think is like right off of another brick down. But actually, oh yeah, this is almost the lowest brick. There's like a very tiny thinny thin down there. So I guess it's actually a very good area solved then. Yeah, I mean, it has a little fancy thing where it just, like, leaves that behind for a moment in order to make space, which is, like, actually a pretty neat trick. So, yeah, this is suitable. This works. I think I'm probably gonna end stream there. I think that I am still gotten by tiredness, unfortunately. But this was fun. I got to do silly puzzles. I think this one might be my favorite of the day, honestly. I like this one a good bit. I feel like I definitely want to come back to this for cycles at some point. It feels very interesting to do with cycles. But yes, for now, we'll close this. And that will be the stream. I hope everyone enjoyed. Goodbye. Mwah.